Self in the camera first. Give me a name like I don't know it.
Yeah, right. I am Traci-Ann Welch. Those who
Okay.
know me best know me as Lava Royal.
Okay. And I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna keep it really informal.
Yeah.
So one of the things that the project is about is I'm looking at black radicalism in Jamaica, how we've come up through various forms of that, and also our commercial identity. So one of the things that I'd want you to talk to me a little bit about is, I know you have your advertising and marketing and so on part of things, so if you could tell me a little bit about that to start.
Okay. So I am a part of that whole marketing and advertising community in the capacity of content developer. So writing, everything from content for brochures, speeches to websites and beyond. Video production as well. So anything that requires storytelling by way of moving image. Content and copy development for advertising, as well as documentary style work, some music videos, and then project management functions within that field of communications, events, media relations functions and such.
What's the name of your,
The company is called Anubis Communications.
and why that name? What's the
So Anubis is a Kemetic, some would say Egyptian deity. I guess if you Google him, the first you're going to see is the jackal-headed of god of the underworld. If you read further and come to understand how he functions, Anubis is the usher. So I guess in its most basic terms, he was the god that would usher the recently departed spirit from the world of the living to the world of the dead. But even beyond that, like, he was the bridge, the communicator between the world of spirit and ancestor and the world of living beings. And that was the real essence of his role in the Kemetic, pantheon, if you will, that really inspired me to use it for the communications consultancy, because that's exactly what we seek to do, bridge worlds. So it felt like a good fit.
that kind of name and description has a very Africanist kind of leaning. Do you think that your company aims to maintain that in the projects that you do and so on?
Not overtly anyway, but by virtue of the fact that both its principles are very African conscious individuals, you know, obviously it permeates the way we do business and the way we, brand and brand our business and ourselves. So I wouldn't say it's one of the focal points or primary objectives of the business consciously, but naturally by virtue of the fact that we're the ones making the decisions, it, a certain principality naturally evolves.
How do you think, does that at all affect your work or the projects that you take on, or how you?
Absolutely. In the sense that, in the very complete sense that African consciousness, the elders talk a lot about wisdom, discernment, awareness of your role in community and how the choices you make impact that community. So it's a very communal way of governance and conduct in all senses of the word. So yeah, I wouldn't advertise cigarettes. So, it guides our morals in every kind of way. Anything that degrade women, I'm not going to endorse because I'm a woman. But I don't even think it's rooted in that Afrocentric consciousness. It's more my just general consciousness of how I define a healthy individual, somebody that has a reciprocal relationship with the environment, like where it generates positive energy through and through. So You could say that that is the Afrocentric way of thinking, but it's also a very Indian way of thinking. It's a very Asian way of thinking. It's a very, I think, every culture way of thinking. I don't know one culture that endorses murder and robbery and rape.
So true. Do you think that makes you different from other companies that are out there in terms of what you've seen?
Yeah. I'm not even going to go around it. Yes. As enough companies sell them soul in the interest, whether because they think they need this money at this time, and them probably end up taking on something that they wouldn't want their mother to know about. So I mean, yeah, I see that happening around me. I understand that when you start a business, like for a lot of people, profit is the gain, is the primary, you know, motivation, as it should be. But in my approach, I also temper it with a very consistent awareness of whether or not I am contributing something to the whole that it needs. Like, I believe if you take a contract that is producing something that you don't think the universe need, you're going to get the money, but the money is not going to suit you. You see, when you do it because you know it's something the universe craving and it's something the universe want, then that 100,000 to you, like how it, the way it stretch for you or what it do for you, it is killing the man who they do it for another reason, because you don't know, him step out of office and a man stick him up feet, him end up investing in something where bring him bare terror and heartache. Like, we need to be mindful of these things and take nothing at face value ever. So I would say yes, definitely a major compass for us, that awareness.
That kind of launches right into the idea of brand Jamaica.
Yeah.
What do you think about brand Jamaica itself and how Jamaica is branded and has been branded?
Like, I think twice about saying this as somebody in who is a professional in the marketing and communications field. But say I'm not sure what brand Jamaica is. I almost feel like it's a catchphrase that did pop up a couple of years ago when the tourist board campaign changed, and instead of feel alright, they were saying something different. Before you go, and then all of a sudden this brand Jamaica, and then there was talk of expanding it beyond sun, sand and sea. But if I were to say I knew the pillars of brand Jamaica, I would be lying, because I really don't know what they claim to be. As somebody who is also a very active person in that cultural space and interact with a lot of visitors, I know what the perceptions, and there are many perceptions of what brand Jamaica mean among different people. So kind of strained from your question, but your question was, what do I understand of the meaning of brand Jamaica? So to say that, to say I really don't know what it means. If I were to give an answer on based on what I consider popular perception to mean, come to Jamaica, chill on the beach, drink a red stripe, par with a Rastaman and bun some weed. No, that's not what they put in the ads, but essentially, like, it's a lot of white people on seashores. So whether or not we want to acknowledge it, that is what we're selling. You see a smiling Ras with some coconuts or some craft and feel alright, everything good, man, no problem.
Yeah.
It's actually quite hilarious, because the I guess the non-Jamaicans who know the place the best, like been coming here for 20 odd years and have seen the face of Jamaica change. The people who really know brand Jamaica, if you will, because they've been here and they've lived it over and over again, all different kinds of experiences. They find our marketing hilarious. Significantly more expensive than one time, because the production value is superb, but it's as sun, sand and sea as it comes.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from people on the marketing?
Things like you see a bunch of women, so it's either always a couple, and then you have the family. So we have We have the all the different types of experiences. If you want the rent-a-dread, is the giggling single women on the beach. If you want to come and lie down on the beach and sip margaritas with your lover in a all-inclusive hotel that you never leave and say you've been to Jamaica, then that's really funny because, I mean, you go to the hotel and you look at a bunch of other white people from other miscellaneous North American and European countries and you say you've been to Jamaica, so they find that very funny, that all-inclusive hotel claustrophobia. Yeah, but just the fact that we still, all the music is still Bob Marley, albeit some interesting maybe steel pan version of the instrumental, which is Trini, so that's sometimes confusing. You know, just a lot of, they find a lot of irony in the images, and the fact that you don't see Jamaicans in tourist sport ads, which is the only reason they keep coming. Like, they come and they form bonds with real people, but you don't really see real people, you see. Brown bumps on beaches, boo.
If you were branding Jamaica, what would you do differently? What?
Oh my gosh. No. If when I ever see this and do it, I will know when I see Tracy research. But you see, when I am responsible for sailing this ship, I am going with the most professional cinematographer I know. Somebody with a more documentary style of creating pictures than a commercial ad style of making pictures. And I'm going to go into the awesome country and garrison communities. I know everything from the secret river in St. Mary, that is part of the main one that the locals go to, but the tourists don't go to and probably would love a lot more. So the real gems, like the real people, you know, go see some spaces that are outside of the Spanish-owned hotels. Hear that? Spanish-owned hotels, I mean, not much of that. None of that money, they know.
At all good.
So, yeah, go to real places and real people and kind of create a more representative picture of the different experiences. Go life yard, the eco farm on Fleet Street, go do a ad. You know, even on one day when the visitors come in, so you see the big picture. Come a juice man around the way who, like a lot of these tourists who over there sick with all kind of simple things that the pharmacy only exacerbate, like pressure and sugar, like go my juice man, and him have reputation of curing cancer and stroke and all of these things. So go to the real people with the real culture and heritage, the keepers of it.
You spoke about two things there: the use of the Bob Marley music, and then saying moving into a bit of what real Jamaican culture is, or a more authentic kind of Jamaican culture.
Yeah.
One of the things that they seem to be trying to sell, whether or not they're actually doing this successfully, is to pull into a more community tourism, authentic Jamaican culture kind of thing.
Yeah.
What do you think actually is an authentic Jamaican culture? Is that something we can actually define? I just realized the edge of this is there.
And you see, authentic is easy, you know, because once it is created by a Jamaican from a space that is inspired by Jamaican culture and heritage, it's authentic. So Bob Marley is extremely authentic. He's about as authentic as it comes. I think what is missing is not authenticity, but representativity, like a representation of the full spectrum of experiences, you know, as close to Bob Marley as Peter Tosh, and as probably as removed as from Bob Marley as, I don't know, like we have people here who stepping even outside of the music, you know. Just different art forms. We have a lot of celebrated creators, all sorts of people who, you know, producing products that have global appeal and are in global demand. Sorry. There's so much we could talk about. So it's more just representation than authenticity.
Why do you think that the representation is so limited?
Because for a while it was reggae music and beach vibes that were selling off Jamaica, and we've just evolved way past that, and our communications about what we have to offer as a destination seeking to attract visitors has just stayed within that very limited scope. I'm saying one not broke, if it not broke, don't fix it. It's been working. It's still part of the major appeal, yes, but I mean we're surrounded by lots of islands that have that to offer now. So it's really time we start kind of honing in on what matters, which is really the soul of the people. That is really the pulse of the nation.
What do you think about our dependence on tourism, as in tourism is such a major earner for us?
Dangerous. That's very dangerous, that dependence. And really and truly, I am not sure. I am not sure if it is that our leaders lack confidence in that we have a lot more productivity capacity than tourism alone presents, or if we've just been hamsters on a wheel, kind of reinvented the same broken model for a while, and we're just waiting for pressure to bust pipe before something totally pop down and force us to start over and seek different ways of operating. But I really cannot foresee any other explanation other than like limited scope of vision. I really can't. I don't know. I can't understand.
Do you think it's something sustainable for us in the long term?
It's highly unsustainable. I mean, let us divert from tourism for a second and observe the fact that like climate change related phenomena are killing our beaches, our fisheries, that whole sun, sand, and sea dream. Like, it's very apparent. I'm an avid beach goer, and my limited awareness of geology and environmental related issues, my eyes alone tell me that, oh, wow, this beach is disappearing very rapidly. Oh wow, there's a lot of the seaweed that wasn't here before, and when I go and find out why, this is what I'm learning about all of these diabolical things that are occurring with our coastlines and oceans and environment in general. So if I were the Ministry of Tourism, I would be very, very, very terrified and seeking to really aggressively expand and diversify my product offering, and more even beyond that. If I were the shepherd at the helm of the government of Jamaica steering things forward, I would realize that that model is dying very quickly. Exhibit A, the whole heap of seaweed, and the fact that the beach might disappear. So, to be completely honest, Tracy, like, you're asking me these questions and it annoys me. Like, when I sit down and I think about it myself, it annoys me because it seems like such a no-brainer. And I don't understand. I can't rationalize it. All I can do is do what I can do in my little corner with the influence that I have to help the others that I come in contact kind of reach the same level of awareness and understanding of what's really happening, because it's a bunch of blind people leading a bunch of blind people, and we're headed straight for a big red brick wall that right now the alarm is going off and we're still running at it full speed, and I'm holding on tight and I'm ready because when pressure bust pipe and we crash is when we can start cleaning up the mess and fixing things. It's not gonna be fun, but it's necessary.
Where are the dissenting voices though? Because I feel like enough of us don't agree with the government. So why does this keep happening? What's going on?
I will speak for myself, because the other day when Mr. Cameron come here and purport to build in prison, that was the first, and the way I saw Mr. Bunting respond, our Minister of National Security respond more than anything, it really